Good morning and happy Saturday. Today at First Cumberland we're having our first wedding in the sanctuary since the COVID-19 pandemic began. It will be a very different kind of a wedding because there will be social distancing and people wearing masks and all that kind of thing. And yet, as all weddings are, it'll be a celebration of love, a worship service, thanking God for the love bringing a couple together. Paul tells us in Ephesians 5 that husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. And he tells wives to love their husbands as well. One of the best ways that we can truly show that we love one another is to listen to one another. Probably pretty good advice from most of us husbands and maybe even a few wives as well. And when we listen, sometimes people discover that we love them even more than they thought. I'll tell you a story about a wedding from back in 2018. A couple named Chelsea and Darren were planning their dream wedding. They planned it down to the last detail, including all of the songs they wanted played at their wedding rehearsal. And they decided that for their very first dance, they wanted to dance to Elvis Presley's I Can't Help Falling in Love. Except Darren had a different plan. He had listened to Chelsea. Chelsea's grandmother had died in 2005. Her grandmother had loved singing, and when her grandmother was 13 years old, she had made a recording of Judy Garland's Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but with her grandmother, Janice, singing instead. And so Darren found a copy of this recording. It was actually a copy that Chelsea had given to another relative. And without telling her, he gave that copy to the DJ, and when the time came for the dance, well, I'll let you just see what happened for yourself, and you might want to get a tissue before this video starts.
But we really enjoyed picking out the music for tonight, and we pretty much agreed right away on all the songs, including the one for this dance. And here we go. Honey, I'm sorry. There's a better song, and it's sung by someone who would have loved to be here today. And so this way she can.
Ladies and gentlemen, a long-lost recording from 1947. This is Chelsea's late grandmother, Janice, singing a family favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the new Mr. and Mrs. Malky one more time.
That video, that story reminds me a little bit. We are to love our spouses as Christ loved the church. And part of the way that Christ loves us is that he listens to us. And it may be years later that we discover that he has answered our prayers even in ways we could not imagine. So on this Saturday, remember the commitments you have made to other people, whether they are your spouse or your children or your friends or your church. Remember the commitment you've made to Christ. Listen to other people, listen to Christ, and know that Christ is listening to you. Why? Because God is with us. Amen.